I was thinking I'd have to do this myself. I'm good. How are you? How was your furlough? I know. Yeah. Follow up on our conversation. Hard through email. I can't type with the meetings.
Hello, this is Nan Baker calling in.
Good morning, Nan.
Good morning, Nan.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dale. Sharon.
Good morning.
Hey, Sharon, it's Trevor.
Good morning, Trevor.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Do we have Nicole English?
Yes, Sharon, I'm on.
Hi, Nicole.
You're not.
Okay, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, February 16th, Board of Control. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Good morning. Calling the roll for the February 16th Board of Control meeting. It is 11 a.m. Dale Miller.
Here.
Nan Baker.
Here.
Trevor McAleer serving as an alternate for Purnell Jones.
Here.
Mike Chambers serving as an alternate for Armin Budish.
Here.
Lee Tucker serving as an alternate for the fiscal officer.
Here.
Nicole English serving as an alternate for Mike Dever.
Here.
Lenora Lockett. Here. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to make a motion here to approve the minutes from February 8th. Do I have a second, please?
Second.
Seconded by Lee Tucker. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, the minutes are approved. Moving on to public comment. Do we have any public comment? If so, you may speak now. Once, twice, no public comment. Moving on to contracts and awards.
First item, BC 2021-68, Department of Information Technology, submitting an amendment to a contract with Environmental Systems Research Institute, Incorporated, for maintenance on ArcGIS software for the period January 1st, 2016 through December 31st, 2020, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2021, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $67,800.
Good morning, Janelle Green on behalf of the Department of IT. This item is an amendment to an existing contract with Esri, as they're also known as, for maintenance to our ArcGIS software. ArcGIS software allows us to not only create maps, but it also allows us to share them and create other apps from them. It's also a collaborative tool which allows us to analyze data, as we use and collect information from all over the county in cooperation with other county departments as well as municipalities. So we can not only share that information internally, we can also share that information with the public. We did post this for a sole source verification, and it did come back as Esri being the sole source provider for this maintenance.
Okay, thank you, Janelle. Are there any questions from the board on this item?
Nan Baker, I have a question.
Sure, please.
So given that this is determined now after 5 years or 4 years in their contract, now it's a sole source. and we're extending this for one more year. What happens after the 1 year is over? Will you go out again to Arcus and contract for 5 years as a sole source?
Well, Esri is the creator of this software, so they don't have any resellers that can provide this, throughout. So what happened with this is that Esri no longer does multiple year agreements with institutions. So this is an annual. This would be an annual expense. So we'd have to come back again in a year in order to procure this item.
Okay, so that's different than what it was when we first contracted with Environmental Systems. Is that correct?
Correct. So initially they did allow for the multi-year agreement, but moving forward, we were informed that we can only do a year at a time.
If I may continue, so given this is a sole source now and we're only going year to year, is there any concern that we may not be able to continue, or there's no other place to go, or that the price may get to a point where it's not affordable?
I don't believe that we have that concern. I do have our GIS administrator, Tom Fisher, on the line. If he has any concerns, he can definitely express those at this time.
Okay.
I do not. In fact, this technology is something that is utilized by local governments, federal government across the country, and in fact, the state actually does have a negotiated rate, which is similar to what we've been given here. And so, I believe that that technology is never shown significant increases in their maintenance agreements since its inception. So I think that there's any reason to believe that it would be significantly increased in the future.
Is there a reason why they changed from a longer-term contract to just 1 year that needs renewal each year?
So they do have multi-year contracts, but it's under what's called an enterprise agreement, and that is what they consider a all-you-can-consume licensing structure, something similar to what we have with Microsoft, but at a significant cost. And so that's where they allow for multi-year contracts, but for regular annual maintenance, they in order to, because of all the contracts that they actually do have, I believe just in local government, there's somewhere in the order of 30-some thousand, and that's just local government, state and county. Municipal and county, that maintenance on of the contracts on their end, it's a lot more efficient for them to go annual maintenance.
Okay. And would you say, I'm trying to read it back up here, the contract that we had for 4 years and we're now extending for 1 more year, was there a percentage increase for that 1 year based on the 4 years we had prior?
Well, we've actually added licensing over the course of the year, so there was an increase. I'm not sure what the percentage is. I don't know, maybe Janelle could provide that. But we have increased our licensure from the 3-year initial or 3-year contract to this annual maintenance contract.
Okay. I see here on the procurement on the backup, total amount of $41,776 at one time, and now we're at $67,800. But you could have added, like you said, more. I was just curious.
Yes.
So
yes.
In fact,
we
year to year, it's a fear that they're doing that because every year then they can have an increase that we're sole sourced in and don't have much. We don't have much leverage in getting another provider.
I believe there was an increase. I'm sorry. I believe it was about an increase of about 5%, which is on par with most software maintenance renewals.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to know that you're all in and you don't see any issues from here on out going year to year with sole source. That was my question. Thank you, Chair.
Sure. Are there other questions on this item? Hearing none, then, I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second. This is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2021-69, Department of Information Technology, recommending an award and enter into a contract with Accent Consulting LLC in the amount not to exceed $120,000 for Enterprise Resource Planning System Support Services for the period February 16th, 2021 through August 14th, 2021.
Janelle Green again from the Department of IT. As we presented last week, this is one of the three vendors that we were exploring for the ERP support system services that we submitted last week under the procurement process. So this is one of the three vendors. This is the 6-month term as was discussed last week. Within the contract, there are some options to amend or extend it should the need arise.
Thank you, Janelle. Are there any questions from the board on this? Oh, excuse me, Lenora Lockett.
Lenora Lockett, Office of Procurement and Diversity. Is this vendor registered with the IG?
Yes, they are. Both of them are. I did verify them myself that they are registered with the IG.
Okay.
Okay, thanks again, Janelle. Are there any questions from the other board members on this item?
Yes, I have a question, and my question is if you could just provide a little bit more description as to what kind of services this person is going to provide for us.
This is Jack Ryan from Department of IT. The services that this gentleman will be providing under Accent Consulting will be to support fiscal operations, primarily for production, not really implementation support for ERP.
I presume that providing this support will not only help with production, but it will also free up other resources to help us on the implementation. Is that correct?
Absolutely correct. Yes, sir. This is one of the reasons we're bringing this on board is because we're currently have resources that are allocated to implementation, now allocated to assist fiscal. This will take a lot of pressure off the existing ERP team and help move some of the items for fiscal production forward faster.
Are there other questions on this item?
Mr. Chair, this is Trevor. I just have one regarding 69 and 70. Part of the advanced questions was, are any items considered a walk-on? These two items did not get all the approvals yet. I'm just curious where we at in the process of getting this into the system and getting the required approvals.
This one we had, I'll answer, I'm sorry, this is Janelle from IT. This one we had line item errors on the item, so we anticipate finishing up that through the process internally today so that it can go through the entire verification with OPD for 69 and 70.
And their 40-hour, I believe we discussed this last week, but they're 40 hours per week.
Yes, this is Jack Ryan. Yes, that's correct. We anticipate them to be full-time for both items.
Thanks, Jack.
Okay. Hearing no further questions on this item, I'm going to make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second. This is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2021-70, Department of Information Technology, recommending an award and enter into a contract with 360 Solutions Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $120,000 for enterprise resource planning system support services for the period February 16th, 2021 through August 14th, 2021.
Again, this is Janelle Green from the Department of IT. This is the second of the three vendors that we are presenting for the ERP system support for the period of February 16th through August 14th, which again was discussed last week when we presented the alternative procurement for these vendors. Again, as similar that was presented in 69. There are additional language that will provide us the ability to amend for these services should we need them moving forward. And they are registered with the IG.
Okay, thank you, Janelle. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second. Mr. Trevor.
Seconded by Mr. McAleer. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Next item.
Next item, BC 2021-71, Sheriff's Department, recommending an award on a purchase order to the Metro Health System in the amount not to exceed $250,000 for reimbursement of litigation and claims expenses for jail operations for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021.
Good morning. This is Philip Lilly from the Sheriff's Department. This request is a continuation of BC 2020-634 from last year to reimburse Metro Health for claims and litigation expenses incurred from jail operations. The legal department determined the county is responsible for the expenses incurred by Metro Health until the deductible is met. This request would pay 2021 invoices for Metro Health.
Thank you, Philip. Are there any questions from the board on this item?
I have one question, Nan Baker.
Sure.
So how do you determine what the amount is? $250,000 is what you're asking for the expenses that have not been claimed yet. Is that just an estimate based on prior years?
Councilwoman Baker, this is Donna Khalil. I'm going to jump in here if that's okay, Phil. I spoke with Brendan Healy. Good morning, everybody. I spoke with Brendan Healy from the prosecutor's office about this. What this actually is we have a policy. We are additional insured on the Metro Health policy. We have a $250,000 a year deductible. This deductible for this $250,000 is for 2018 invoices that have cases that have finally been litigated, and now we are meeting that deductible for 18. I'm gonna now. He did say Brendan did say in 18 there was a lot of claims because we had the deaths in the jail, things like that. But there's a very good chance we're going to see the 19 $250,000 deduct, the 20 $250,000 deduct coming down the pike. Now for 21, we do have a new policy with them. It's much more expensive. The deductible is only $25,000. So, but again, we could see this a couple more times for 19 and for 20. What this currently is for 21 invoices for 18 litigation claims.
Okay, well, that's really good to know. I wonder if that should be said somewhere in the backup, or did I miss it?
Well, actually, it wasn't until I had the conversation with him last Friday that I found all this out. I didn't even understand it until I called Brendan and tried to get some clarification on it. So if you want us to add some language in there, I can work with Sharon and get some language added in there. I mean, I don't know, Sharon, can we do that after the fact? Is that doable?
Sure, we can add something to the minutes, the final minutes.
Okay, and if that's what you'd like to do, we can do that. Because again, I don't want the board to be surprised if they see this coming down the pike again for 19 or for 20.
Right. I guess I would request that in the minutes, we confirm that this is for 2018 expenses on cases that we are now paying for in 2021?
Correct.
And that is anticipated in 2019 and 2020. Just so we have on the record that this isn't for, because I thought the way it's read is that we are paying for something that is, we anticipate we are going to have to pay them. But actually, this is going back a couple of years on old cases.
To
So
meet
I
the
think that's a
correct.
pretty good distinction.
Okay.
All right, I would ask that the minutes reflect that. Thank you.
Will do.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Donna.
Are
Sure.
there further questions on this item from the board? Hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, Trevor.
Seconded by Mr. Mackler. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2021-72, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services, recommending an awards on requisition 2426 and enter into contracts with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $210,869 for emergency shelter and supportive services for individuals and families experiencing homelessness in connection with the Emergency Solutions Grant Program for the period September 1st, 2020 through August 31st, 2021, with mental health services for homeless persons doing business as frontline service in the amount not to exceed $25,000, with Family Promise of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $68,800, with Westside Catholic Shelter in the amount not to exceed $61,260, with Fairhill Partners in the amount not to exceed $22,500, and with YMCA of Greater Cleveland in the amount not to exceed $33,309.
Good morning, Melissa Surak with the Office of Homeless Services, recommending awards on requisition 2426 to enter into contracts with the listed providers. OHS conducted an RFP process on behalf of Cuyahoga County and the City of Cleveland for qualified nonprofit agencies for program services. The intention of ESG funds is to award funds to provide basic need assistance and shelter operations. The 2020 RFP also required that eligible providers extend their scope to include services to expedite housing plans and acquire permanent supportive housing. The RFP process was conducted in August. The joint RFP process with the City of Cleveland does require additional approval process. With that approval process, we received ESG award amounts from the City of Cleveland in December, and there were also issues that arose in the county process concerning cybersecurity insurance. These factors have led me to be before you today with the contract request. I think it's also important to note that Fairhill Partners has historically been funded through levy funds. However, with additional ESG funding, we were able to leverage levy dollars for this recent award.
Thank you, Melissa. Are there any questions from the board on this item? Hearing none, then I will make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second. Mr. Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Next item, please.
Next item, BC 2021-73, Department of Health and Human Services, Community Initiatives Division, Office of Homeless Services, recommending a sole source award on requisition 3947 and enter into a contract with Emerald Development and Economic Network Incorporated in the amount not to exceed $496,595 for facility management services for the Norma Hare Women's Shelter located at 2227 Payne Avenue, Cleveland, for the period January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021.
Melissa Surak, again with the Office of Homeless Services, recommending a sole source award on requisition 3947 to enter into contract with Eden for facility management at Norma Hare. Eden provides ongoing property management and assures that the building is clean and safely maintained. Eden secures the basic furniture of bedding and mats, and approximately 180 women are served using the building daily.
Okay, thanks
And
again.
the amount of this award is the same as 2020 as well.
Okay, good to know. Thank you, Melissa. Are there any questions on the board for this item? Okay, hearing none, then I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second, this is Dale.
Seconded by Councilman Miller. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Item approved. Moving on.
Moving on to the consent
Thank you.
agenda, item BC 2021-74.
If the board members please take a moment to review. Feel free to speak at any time with any question. Are there any questions from the board on today's consent agenda item? Okay, hearing then, I will go ahead and make a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Mackler. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Today's consent agenda is approved. Moving on, we have no other business. At this time, I will call for public comment. Is there any final public comment? Please speak now. Okay, there is no public comment. Moving on, we're going to adjourn. I'm going to make a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second? Seconded by Ms. Lee Tucker. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Thank you. Take care, everyone.
Thanks.